Have you always believed that you were born to create things, but you just didn't believe in yourself enough to start? Me too. If you want to start living up to your creative potential and following through on your promise to create more, then this video is for you. The past few months, I've started to live creatively, and I'd like to share what I've learned so far. What exactly is creativity? At its core, creativity is about thinking in an original way and breaking out of patterns. It's a step further than imagination because it has that act of follow-through in the tangible things that you create. It's all about experimentation. We have lots of definitions for creativity, but what's important to remember is that you can bring creativity into anything. Scientific discoveries are creative because the scientist breaks out of conventional thinking. My mom brings creativity to project management. My dad brings creativity to coding. Creating is something anyone could do. It just takes some practice. So, should we start with the good news or the bad news? The bad news is that in order to start following through and becoming the creator of your dreams, the change has to come from inside of you, not from the outside world. Your lifestyle would need to change. It comes down to habit building and seeing yourself as capable and having a positive self-perception. The good news is that once you start becoming creative in one area of your life, there's usually a positive trickle effect to other areas of your life. The reason for this is because of receptivity. When we're receptive, we find more joy in everyday moments. We also become better listeners and better observers. But above all, we start to listen to our own internal voice more and go in the direction that it tells us to go. You can do anything creatively. It's really just about breaking habits. If you always do something in the same way, consider changing it. Now let's go outside and get those creative juices flowing. Some easy ways to just spark that creativity. Get out in nature. Maybe read a fiction book so that you get to imagine the characters. Maybe take a notebook and start journaling. Write whatever comes to your mind. This is all about imagining possibilities. We were all born creative. Think of the childlike wonder that you had when you experienced everything for the first time. Before we learned to mask and hide who we are, we were original. We used to ask why and we used to experiment. Don't we all wish that we could give something back, leave our mark on the world? Aren't we all seeking meaning? Creating is how we do that. There's so much joy in discovering what our minds and our bodies are capable of creating. Creating almost feels like a spiritual purpose. Like the reason we're on this earth is to make things and to share them, to give our contributions to others. Instead of trying to be like everyone else, what if we just became ourselves? We really grow from trying new things. What creative hobbies can you try? I am personally most drawn to painting, music, and making YouTube videos. And practicing all of them has helped me build my own creative patience with myself. The first challenge is that for a long period of time at the beginning, you might be absolutely terrible at it. You don't get to reap the benefits of playing around and having all the skill at the very beginning. You might start this and think you're going to have fun right away, and really, you might be learning a lot. For guitar, I had to wait as I built up calluses on my fingers. It hurt. I sounded terrible. With painting, there have been so many times that I have to just paint everything white and start from scratch on a new day with a blank canvas because what I made was so bad. And plenty of YouTube videos. I don't think I've done the best job I ever could have done, but I have to be happy with myself that I at least made something at all. The second challenge is that motivation only comes after taking action. I don't know about you, but I always assumed motivation would find me, like I should only create once motivation has struck and then I'm ready to create. Once you get started, the motivation comes because you feel confidence. You can look at what you're doing and say, hey, I did it. And then you want to keep going. The third challenge is that we're opening ourselves up for possible rejection. People might hate what we made, or they might ignore it altogether. The reason this is so hard is because we're really attached to what we made. We worked really hard on something, and we really want praise for that thing. Because we care so much, our self-worth has been placed over there in that thing that we made. So the more things that we create, the less attached we are to each individual thing, and the more ready we are to face that rejection. It's impossible for everyone to love what you made. The more important thing is to keep creating things so that the people who are meant to find your work will find it. So how do you start? You start small. Pick one creative hobby you can try and think of the first thing it would take to get there. Just make sure you have the time in your calendar and the energy to do this so that it really ends up being successful for you. Next, make sure that you are setting out with a goal to make yourself proud. This is all about what you feel like you should be creating. Don't focus too much on what others might like. Do what feels good to you. Once you've chosen your creative hobby and you know that the goal will be to make yourself proud, it can be really helpful to find maybe a group or a friend to hold you accountable. Whether it's just telling someone that you're starting a new creative hobby, or you join a group and you all do that hobby together, it can really help. They can encourage you and they can remind you to make progress. If you can, practice that creativity every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. Usually 5 minutes will lead to 10 minutes, will lead to 30 minutes. You'll really start to enjoy yourself. As long as you can build up the habit so that you start to feel excited once you start creating. Slowly you'll start noticing that you want to do it more and more. Lastly, don't expect perfection. The creative process is a messy one. I don't think things ever turn out the exact way that we envision them at first, as long as we can be comfortable with those surprises and learn to really enjoy the journey. Good luck and happy creating! If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any more ideas, if I forgot anything, and what kinds of creative hobbies you'll be trying in 2024.